चलो, appendicular skeleton. So 80 bones are completed. Everybody, quick revision. 80 bones. $87, huh? Complete na? 87 to complete. But quick revision. Frontal 1, parietal 2, occipital 1, temporal 2, sternal 1, ethmoid 1, nasal 2, lacrimal 2, trigonometric 2, internal nasal spongy 2, palatal bone 2, maxillary bone 2, molar bone 1, mandibular 1, medullus 2, incus 2, sternus 2, hyoid bone 1. C7, T12, L5, S5, C4 it becomes C7, T12, L5, S1, C1, and we have total 25 bones in the rib cage. 12 pairs are of ribs, 1 to 7 pairs are true ribs, 8, 9, 10 false ribs, and 11, 12 floating ribs and 1 sternum. Clear? Yes. Okay, fine. Next is appendicular skeleton. Here 126 or 120 bones are there. Okay. Here appendicular skeleton, it is divided into two parts. Four-limb skeleton, it has 64 bones, and hind-limb skeleton, or 66. नहीं 40 नहीं था. हाँ sorry. Here 64 bones are there, so it is divided into two parts. Okay. Pectoral girdle, fine. In that 4 bones and 4 limbs or upper limbs. $60 bones. Now 4 limbs, pectoral girdle consists 2 parts. Scapula 2 and clavicle 2. Scapula. Have you ever heard this? Scapula? No? Here on the back side of our shoulder, this is known as shoulder joint. Okay, here pectoral girdle, we are talking about that, and then later on we will continue with that forelimbs. In each forelimb 30 bones are there, 30. Later on I will tell you. Okay, but here on the back of the rib cage, you know, okay, this is the rib cage. It is formed by ribs and sternum. So just on the dorsal side of the rib cage, triangle bone is present. On the dorsal side of rib cage at 2nd to 7th ribs. Triangled bone is present, is known as scapula. અહીંયા એક જ આવશે, but it is connected to the clavicle here. હા પણ એ છે ને અહીંયા પ્રોજેક્શન દેખાય, પાતળા હોય ને એને અહીંયા મેના સ્કેપ્યુલાના પ્રોજેક્શન્સ દેખાય, બહુ જ પાતળા હોય ને એને રિબ્સ પ્રોજેક્ટેડ દેખાય. Ribs are projected. I will draw. Okay, I will show you the scapula later on. This is the triangle shaped bone. Okay, it is present on the dorsal side of the rib cage at the 2nd to 7th ribs. 2nd to 7th ribs, up to that the scapula is located. Fine. This is known as Acromion process. This is known as blade of scapula, the main part. So one projection is from here to here, and you feel at your back region here. One projection come forward like this. So that projection is known as Acromion process. હશે તો ખ્યાલ આવશે. બે સાઈડ હોય, ચેક કરી લેજો. And just below that very small projection is there, known as coracoid process. So the long projection is known as Acromion process, the small projection is known as coracoid process, and small cavity here, it is known as glenoid cavity. And now here in this glenoid cavity, at the glenoid cavity. Now this is the arm. Full name in that this region is known as arm. Arm in that humerus is there, humerus bone. So now we are entering in the foreleg or upper leg. Don't consider here, but I want to tell you that one thing only. This is the arm bone known as humerus. The wall of the humerus is articulate with the socket of the scapula, that is known as glenoid cavity, and form the shoulder joint. Okay? Understand something else? The scapula is here and scapula consists very narrow. તમને પછી બતાવીશ અને જો તમને ખ્યાલ હોય ને તો we have the triangled deltoid muscle here. તમે જે પ્લેયર્સ ને એનું તમે deltoid જોજો અહીંયા, એનું ખાસ પ્રોજેક્શન બને. deltoid and trapezius, neck માં muscle bulk હોય. Fine. So here, due to deltoid muscle, the shoulder joint is maintained in its original state. But head is very large, socket is very narrow. So there is a chance of dislocation of the shoulder. Shoulder dislocate થાય, ખબર છે? ખભો ઉતરી જાય. બરાબર? So dislocation of the shoulder, it means what? What it means, dislocation? ક્યાંથી? Head of humerus is coming outside from the glenoid cavity. એટલે અહીંયા છે ને, જેને ખભો ઉતરી ગયો હોય ને, શોલ્ડર ડિસ્લોકેટ થયો હોય ને, અહીંયા તમે અહીંયા ટીપ ઉપર જોજો, ત્યાં ખાડો બની જશે. And person is unable to move the upper leg. Excess pain occurs. And what we have to do? We have to bend the arm like this and give the manipulation. As a result, the head of the humerus is articulate or joint in the glenoid cavity. At that time, person feel heaviest pain. Rad padi. And give the brace. Shoulder ને બરોબર મેનિપ્યુલેટ કરી દો, પછી એક આખું નેક બેન્ડ આપે છે. એ પર્સન ને શોલ્ડર આમ જ રાખવાનું for few days. જોજો આવું ક્યાંક જોયું હોય તો. હા, ફ્રેક્ચર નહીં, આ ડિસ્લોકેશન ની વાત છે. હા, એ પટ્ટો ના, અહીંયા આર્મ સપોર્ટેડ જ હોય, ફોર આર્મ સપોર્ટેડ જ હોય, ખાલી આમ જ રાખવાનું. ના, એ ગળામાં પટ્ટો ગળા માટે. ના, એ છે ને વર્ટિબ્રલ ડિસ્ક પ્રોલેપ્સ થઈ ગઈ હોય તો એને ગળા પટ્ટો, પછી તો આમાં નેક્સ્ટ ટીપ કરી નાખે. એને શોલ્ડર ને કઈ ન લાગે તો અહીંયા પાછળ પ્રોજેક્શન આપણે સ્કલમાં જોયું હતું. એવું થઈ ગયું બધું. Okay, so here this large projection is known as Acromion process. Fine, and then very small process which is just above the glenoid cavity. I will show you that on the bone. Fine, and one cavity is known as glenoid cavity, and it is articulate with the head of the humerus and form the shoulder joint. So this is about the scapula. Now the clavicle. clavicle. It is S-shaped bone. Also known as collarbone. આપણા collar ત્યાં આવે. Here. Okay. Here S shape like this. Okay. S shape like this. Here curvature is backward and here forward. So clavicle is one side articulate. Clavicle is one side articulate with the acromion process, and another side it is articulate with the sternum and form the acromioclavicular joint and sternoclavicular joint. And this movement occurs. This movement occurs due to clavicle. Okay, so clavicle is S-shaped bone. And it is also known as collarbone. Fine. One side it is articulate with acromion process of scapula and form acromioclavicular joint. Another side it is articulate with sternum and form sternoclavicular joint. Okay, helpful for shoulder girdle, pectoral girdle movement or shoulder girdle movement like this. Okay, this movement is due to clavicle. Okay, so here I can stop now. Fine. Remaining thing continued in the next lecture.